how they caught Kanye walking down the freeway with some Balenciaga boots on and some drawers that show one of his nuts hanging out. Oh man, y'all are starting 2024 off swell and well, huh? We got a lot of amazing requests, emails, kind donations, people showing me so much love to start out 2024, man. But shout out to Brittany that sent me this one in the email and sent a list of a buttload of reactions for me to check out, and I'm just checking them out, having fun with you guys. Again, if you like this kind of content, like the channel, love my reactions, join the Keep Coming family, hit that subscribe button down below. We check out everything every single day, from comedy, sports, your favorite artist, your favorite comedian, your favorite actress. I mean, we check out all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Your favorite teams. So if you like my reactions, hit that subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? Join the Keep Coming family. But this video is the addiction that destroyed Kanye West's life. Damn. Old Kanye, huh? Oh man, Kanye did it big in 2023, man. He been doing it big 2022, 2021, 2020. Around COVID times. I mean, Kanye. Can't get Kanye out your mouth, huh? Well, hey, this original link to this video will be in the description box down below for you guys to check it out for yourself. Let's check it out, man. And it's by Hip Hop Max. Check it out. Hold on, did y'all read the? Some of y'all didn't read that disclaimer. Read the disclaimer.
We all have bad habits, but most of us have the ability to control them, while for others, they end up warping their brains, affecting personal relationships, and occasionally skewing their thought process to the point of no return. Traditionally, addiction is characterized as a chronic, relapsing disorder brought upon by compulsive drug seeking and consumption despite adverse consequences. But of course, there are other ways to consume which may cause you to become dependent, and one rapper who knows this all too well is Kanye. As he said in various interviews, Ye's affinity for adult material dates back to when he was just 5 years old when he stumbled upon something of his father's.
Like for me, Playboy was my gateway into full-on addiction. My dad had a Playboy left out at age 5, and it's affected almost every choice I made for the rest of my life from age 5.
Having made
Wow. But you know, and I'll be honest with you, there's things our parents have left out, you know, and I ain't gonna say it on camera. I might go to jail. You know, that they have left out or left open, that has affected all of us in our childhood, you know, that exposed us to something completely early than it should have, you know, and that it's happened to not me, but you and, you know, everybody else around the world. We all got stories and experiences, man. Man, let the Playboy out, didn't he?
various crude references to that industry from his earliest music, Kanye's appetite eventually bled into the dating world too when he dated one of the most sought-after glamour models of the era. While stopping short at dating a literal adult performer, his decision to date Amber Rose took his life and his music into a newly liberated, hypersexualized era. Having later claimed that he needed 30 showers, his relationship with Amber, alongside the fallout from the infamous Taylor Swift VMAs moment, would be funneled into his work, resulting in the masterpiece we know today as My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, an album which featured his most outlandish descriptions of sexual escapades to date. Things came to a head on tracks like Monster, Runaway, Blame Game, and of course, Hell of a Life. On the latter, it's often suggested that he foretold his future marriage to Kim Kardashian, spitting, "One day I'm gonna marry a star. We'll have a big crib and a long yard. We'll have a mansion and some fly maids. Nothing to hide, we both screwed the bridesmaids." But before that prophecy was fulfilled, one of the collaborators on that project exposed his creative process and the deals which took her aback. Featured on 2 tracks on the album, including her career-defining verse on Monster, Nicki Minaj discussed what it was like to work with Ye. "I thought that he wouldn't want girls to be dressed overtly sexy, and I go into the studio and he had nothing but pictures of naked women on his computer that he'd invite me to look at. They were really artsy pictures, but you know, he loves. So it was a complete shock to me, because I thought I had him figured all out. He was watching when we were in the studio. No shame in his game." And
no shame in his game. No shame in his game, huh?
Enabled by his megastar status, Ye's affinity for adult content was now accepted as just a part of his process, and may have contributed to his infatuation with the woman who was behind the most famous tape of all time, Kim Kardashian. When they first got together, this seemed like a point of pride for Ye, and on Click, he even made it part of his mythology, rapping, "Break records at Louis, ate breakfast at Gucci, my girl a superstar, all from a home movie." Over time, they went from a run-of-the-mill celebrity fling to a relationship that resulted in 4 kids. But As he revealed on Jimmy Kimmel, even fatherhood wasn't enough to stop his addiction.
Do you feel like your attitude towards women has changed since having daughters?
Nah, I still look at and
Something about a man that can be honest. I'm gonna say that one more time. Something about a man that can be honest. But not just be honest. That can be honest in front of millions and billions of people around the world. And that was that Jimmy Kimmel question was very powerful too, man. You know. Shout out to all the beautiful ladies out there. Shout out to all the people, amazing parents. And we're wishing the best in everybody's life, man, in your kids' life, you guys' life, and that you continue to be amazing mentors, leaders, and amazing parents, man. Your kids need you, and they spread that love, man. But hey, he keeping it real though. I still look at fella get that oil and he get the stroke, you know what I'm saying? He get the cocking that thing up and down, don't he?
What kind of stuff do you look at? What categories?
Oh, what a even sexier and spicier question. Jimmy?
black is my favorite category. What's the point of being Kanye West if you can't?
In fact, he didn't even treat monogamy with any degree of seriousness. And while on the St. Pablo tour, he boasted about infidelity. It was no secret among those who worked closely with Ye that he cheated after Saint was born, revealed one insider. On his St. Pablo tour, he was flipping out in front of his team, confessing to sleeping with girls behind Kim's back. He even said he'd been groupies and went into insane detail about his sessions. It was disturbing. His language was unreal. Those who knew him well, they were sitting heads in hands and laughing nervously, while crew members who had just joined the tour were left stunned. At this point in his life, Ye's obsession with sex had arguably become more juvenile than ever. Across bars from The Life of Pablo that even made the most desensitized fan pause for a second, the famous video, which featured figures like Taylor Swift, Kim K, George Bush, Trump, and Bill Cosby, had placed his obsession front and center. But bizarrely,
man, this is getting good, ain't it? But I tell y'all, man, one thing about us people, we just keep on. We just can't stop. We wake up, what we think about. It's just the human nature. Some of y'all wake up with your woody and you ready to go. You know? It's okay. Because eventually, that testosterone, that adrenaline, that blood flow, it dies down. You get old. You get tired. So no shame in your game. And y'all know what's crazy? The top thing that's most addicted right now is sex. I'm gonna say it quietly. You know? As soon as you open up the Twitter app, them things shaking and jiggling, and people are slurping and slobbing and twisting, and it's all over. Yeah. And for a lot of people, it didn't caught them off guard because they didn't know. They didn't know how people have really, used these apps now to market. Yeah. Full-on marketing. Full-time content creators. Get on there, see a pair of feet. Oh, nice pretty feet with the white toenails. Yeah. Say, hey man, I'm just being real. See, some of y'all don't want to hear the real.
it was also around this time that he became most modest about Kim's sexuality. Yeah, it does bother him. It's like half and half, she told Ellen of Kanye's response when she posed for Paper Magazine. He always wants me to be me and feel confident, and we're having fun, but it also bothers him. Still, as Kanye continued to live out his wildest fantasies in public view, he would reach a point of sordidness where he was even designing the set for the award ceremony for the biggest adult site on the internet. Upon reflection, he sees 2018, which is the same year that he began to alienate half of his fan base with his support of Trump, as the year his addiction finally began to have real ramifications for his life. Following the release of Ye, Kanye dropped two of the most sexually overt tracks in his entire catalog. First, there was Ecstasy, where he embraced all of his most debased impulses, no matter how the real people in his life might have felt about it. You got sick thoughts? I got more of them. You got a sister-in-law you smashed? I got 4 of them. Damn, those is your sisters. You did something unholy to them pictures. Damn, you need to be locked up. Nah, we need a bigger hot tub. Then you had I Love It with Lil Pump. Debuting at the Hub Awards, the track was about as forthright about his love of all things explicit as it could get. And in hindsight, he saw it as a turning point in his life, and not for the better.
I got to a point where I was always letting that Playboy magazine that I found when I was 5 years old have an effect on my music. It could never be 100% everything it could be, because I had to add that in, always. And it got to the point where literally I went from Jesus Walks to You're Such a I Love It. This fit right in with everything we got to deal with opioids. This fit right in with everything we got that.
Now, what does that remind y'all of, huh? I ain't gonna say it on camera. Just don't trust and believe in everybody you're hearing. Because they just as dirty. Just as dirty. Don't be fooled, man. Have your third eye open. Y'all got to wake up. Y'all, some of y'all still asleep. Some of y'all still in the bed.
Most killings so that we can have more slaves in the mass incarceration.
Why did you make it?
Because I was asleep. Because I was drowned. Because I was lost.
Having later described the track as a product of being lost, its release corresponded with a time where his marriage was on the rocks. In 2020, they revealed that they were speaking with an intimacy specialist, with an insider claiming that the therapist is giving them suggestions to put the sizzle back in their sex life. They tried counseling a couple of years ago, and it essentially saved their marriage. They're hoping lightning can strike twice. Once again, the problems in his life were traced back to sex and the media that documents it. And just as his addiction began to teeter over to the point that his marriage was heading for divorce, he put his faith into one of the other constants in his life: religion.
When I was in my lowest points, God was there with me and sending me visions and inspiring me. And I remember sitting in the
Joel Osteen, huh?
hospital at UCLA after having a mental breakdown, and there's documentations of me drawing a church and start a church in the middle of Calabasas.
Soon, Kanye was abandoning secular music entirely, channeling his energy into spreading the gospel through his very own Sunday service. Along the way to promoting his new album, Jesus is King, most of his promo runs saw him discuss the difficulties he'd faced in trying to combat what had called out to him. Some people drown themselves in drugs, he said, and I drown myself in my addiction, sex.
God was patient, and my family was patient for me when they were praying for me. And when they saw me at the awards, they couldn't tell me not to do it. All they could do was pray and be patient, and it had to happen in God's time. So for me, when I have people around who I would like them to be where I'm at in my journey, all I could do is pray and be patient, because it's gonna only be in God's time.
Transforming from a man who reveled in lust to a deeply religious man, Kanye spoke at length about the extreme way he tried to keep his religious purity.
This is gonna be radical. There's times where I was asking people to not have premarital sex while they were working on the album.
Despite only making gospel from here on out and pledging to live a pious life, it wasn't enough to save his marriage. And on the follow-up record, Donda, he discussed how his unfaithful behavior led to its demise on Hurricane, rapping, "Here I go acting too rich, here I go with a new chick, and I know what the truth is. Still playing after 2 kids. It's a lot to digest when your life's always moving." Having previously celebrated what he now saw as immoral, Kanye has since gone the other way and continued to place holiness at the forefront of his output. His views on the very material that he used to covet got increasingly extremist. In fact, he said it was to blame for everything that's gone awry in his life.
This addiction since I was 5 years old that has destroyed my mom and my dad's family, that destroyed my family. When I take full accountability for the destruction of my marriage, I'll point at the liberals and say, you took my wife from me. You know what took my wife from me? The fact that I was married to this beautiful person, but I felt like it wasn't enough. I felt like I still needed to look at In some way, I'd say to her, well, stop making these images, stop breaking the internet.
So alarmed by exposing his kids to inappropriate content that he didn't want them on TikTok, Ye sought to protect those around him from what he saw as the evil that destroyed his world. But at the same time, in the depths of his despair, he relapsed.
Since I lost my wife, since I lost my family, and I was no longer the priest right in the middle of that home, and I let the devil pull me in, next thing you know, I'm at New Year's Eve parties having threesomes.
But while Ye might have since tried to conquer his addiction, his over-reliance on the past was about to come back and bite him. With footage emerging of him showing X-rated material to executives during negotiations over his contract, it's clear that his addiction has tightened its grip around him again. He showed me the video of Francesca Lee, a buff adult. A former collaborator told Rolling Stone. He's like, what do you think of it? Not laughing at all. He would be in a meeting and he'd be talking to you, and he'd rattle off in his laptop to play a mature video, another employee said. He's like, I know it's uncomfortable, but I kinda need this in the background to keep me focused. From admitting that he bootlegged OnlyFans on Reddit despite being a billionaire, to announcing in November 2022 that he was going on a 30-day cleanse, it still hasn't prevented him from reverting back to his old ways. At his 46th birthday party in June 2023, he served sushi with women's bodies being used as serving platters. Meanwhile,
we remember that. Yeah.
He's engaged in no shortage of PDA with his new wife, while arguably inspiring some of his most compelling output in the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Life of Pablo eras. It's clear that those images he saw as a kid are implanted in Ye's brain and aren't going anywhere. The real question is that as he considers a comeback, will he be able to douse the flames and keep himself on an even keel with his addiction, or allow it to wreak havoc once more? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Y'all comment down below how y'all feel about that video, man. How do you feel about Ye's addiction? Let's see what Duke says. Duke says, just because you're not popping drugs doesn't mean you're free from addiction. It's a problem that impacts a lot more people than we might think. It's really sad just how the addiction isn't spoken on, man. There's boys, men who are ruined by it, really. It's even sadder when you realize the companies who make it study how to make more addictive. Same with food and drugs, since all three have the same effect on your brain. It's such a problem, and anybody trying to fight any addiction will always have my support. For real, for real. Yes, indeed. Taylor says, the addiction is not a game similar to any other addiction. It can quite literally ruin your life if it gets completely out of control and clouds your understanding of reality when it comes to women and intimacy. It's kind of understanding why Kanye went down the path he did regards to marrying Kim. Hey man, hey, comment down below, man. This thing is, it's right in front of you, But again, we knew most of this already. But it's always good to see these videos like this, put everything together, break stuff down, and people can put their theories together and put their minds together and just come and throw everything out, man. But again, we all face problems. We all make mistakes. We all have our addictions. We all, are fighting something. So I'm always wishing the best in everybody's life, man. Again, for a lot of people, it sounds crazy, but hey, it's real. It's reality. It's life. So it's here, man. But again, shout out to Brittany for sending that one over for me to react to. I love you guys. We're going to be checking out a lot of amazing things this year. So come on, stop by, join the Keep Coming family. And I'm wishing everything but the best in all you beautiful people's life, man. Y'all stay blessed, stay healthy, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.